Alright, students, now what I want all of you to do right now is turn to page 8 in your textbook. Now I want all of you to read through these 4 reading passages labeled Alicia, Adrian, Ryan, and Emma. So what these reading passages is all about is actually the opinions of these characters on social networking sites. Now, I want all of you to pay attention to their opinions, their points on the topic, and then we'll get back to this in a discussion in a short while, alright? Alright students, time is up, so I hope all of you managed to read through all 4 reading passages on time. So, does anyone have any problems encountered while reading these passages? Anything that you don't understand? Good job! Now that's the spirit. I love this class. Okay, so after reading all the characters' opinions on social networking sites, what we can see from here, students, is that more or less the way they address the opinions are kind of the same, but there might be a slight difference in the choice of words or the organization of the points when they are trying to address their opinions. So that is what we're going to look into today. Okay, but before we get started on this, I want all of you to get this handout. Adam, can you please pass it out to all of your friends? Okay, thank you. Alright students, now I want all of you to take a look at this handout first. Okay, so it is written how to express opinions. So basically this is just a rough guideline on how do people normally express their opinions on a certain topic. Okay, the first one says identify your stance to the topic. Do you agree or disagree? So, for instance, let's take this case on social networking sites. First and foremost, you must identify your stance. Do you agree that social networking sites or social medias actually give more benefit or more pros to you or to other people in our society rather than more negatives or more cons to this issue? So after that, let's say we agree that it actually gives us more benefit. Okay, let's move to the next point. Write down your points based on your stance. Now, since you said you agree on that on the stance, so what are your points? Why do you say so? So maybe it's because social media, like for instance, like you can refer to what Alicia said from your textbook. She said that they are great for keeping in touch with friends or finding old friends. So let's say we take that point, alright? You can put more phrases or like a complete phrase to strengthen your opinion. Like for instance, you just take a look here. When expressing opinions, you can put these phrases such as, I believe that social media, there are more pros rather than cons to social medias because it helps us to reconnect with old friends. See? So that is how you use these phrases when expressing your opinions. Okay, let's, for instance, let's try another one. I like to point out that when using social media, you can actually reconnect with old friends by finding them through Facebook. See, that is a way to strengthen your point. Now, moving on to add or elaborate your opinions. You can include more words such as furthermore, moreover, or not to mention, or even in addition to that. Let's take a look at Alicia's example again. She stated her reason after the first point about reconnecting with old friends, and then she instantly say social networking sites are also useful for helping people out. But instead of going into the second point, you can add this word, furthermore, social networking sites are also useful for helping people out. Okay, students, let's take a look at the next one, which is to ask for others' opinion. So when we are in a group setting where we are discussing or talking about a certain topic, we would also like to know the other person's opinion on this topic. So how do we ask them politely and in a way that we do not conquer the whole conversation by just explaining our points, giving our views on the topic? So how do we ask them? So if you look here, you can actually ask them, what is your point of view on this topic? What is your point of view about social networking sites reconnecting old friends, for instance? So that is how you go about when asking other people's opinion on the topic. Alright, students, now I hope you still have the energy to proceed to the next section, which is how to agree or disagree with somebody's opinion. Alright, so if you can see here, I totally agree with you. So this is just a simple phrase to add when expressing your opinions. Like for instance, I totally agree with you that social media helps us to reconnect with old friends. So this is just a phrase to add to the point that you think both of you agree to. So other than that, maybe you can say, I have exactly the same opinion as you, Adam, because I really do think Facebook helps me in finding my old friends from my primary school. So that is how you go about when expressing an opinion that you agree with somebody else. But what about when you disagree with somebody else, right? So let's take a look. If you disagree with somebody else, the phrase or the sentence can be like, with respect, I have to say I don't agree with you on this, Syahirah, because I think that social media actually attracts more scammers rather than reconnecting with old friends, for instance. Other than that, maybe you can try, I understand what you are saying, Dahlia, but I have a different opinion on this topic. Then you elaborate further why so. Okay, so the final one, responding to opinions. So how do you respond to opinions, especially when people started expressing their own opinion and then they came to an awkward silence, an awkward stop? So actually, that is when you have to respond to their opinion. So how do you do that? So you can do it by saying, that's a great suggestion. That's a great suggestion, Adam. I do believe that social networking site is useful for helping people out in doing research, for instance. All right? Or maybe that's a very good point. That's a very good point, Sally, because I do agree that when I spend my time playing online games, I feel a little bit relief from my stressful study life. So that is how you respond to other people's opinion. Okay, so let's take a look at Adrian's opinion on this. I don't think social networking sites are for me. So we can see he is actually highlighting his stance that he disagrees. And then he said, I really don't like having too much information about myself out there on the web. So this is highlighting the point that he is uncomfortable with sharing his personal life to online platforms because people, maybe strangers, can read about his bio, his profile. So that is like quite uncomfortable for certain people. All right. And then he said, he continued, I mean, anyone could find my email and start sending me spam or viruses. So this is actually an elaboration to his point, to his first point. And then he said, there's also cyberbullying, the second point. Or so if you were to add on from this handout that I've given you, what do we put at the front of this point? Yes, Adam, we can put furthermore, right? Okay, and then he said also. Also is actually a word that you can add in your handout at the section to add or elaborate opinions. You can also use also, all right? Also, someone could pretend to be you and commit crimes. Okay, there is actually a term for this. What do you think it is? Could pretend to be you and commit crimes. What is that? Yes, great. Now, 1 plus point for that vocabulary. Good job, Adam. This is actually what we call as catfishing. Yes. So the act of impersonating somebody else online is actually a crime that we call it as catfishing. Alrighty class, that is that, and now I hope all of you understand how to express opinions later in the future. Please, please, please hold on to this just a little while longer because I believe that it will help you a lot in the next activity that we will be doing after this, okay? Now, class, I want all of you to move around. It's time to get up and move around. And I want all of you to be in a groups of 4, okay? In a groups of 4. And just pick wherever you like to sit comfortably in a group. And then we will get right into the next activity, all right? Okay, move around.